Hey, thanks for checking out the Ham and Spam Retro Review. If you like what you hear, please remember to subscribe, leave a like, or leave a comment, whatever platform you listen to this on.
And also remember, there's always additional content on our website, hamandspam.com, where you can find links to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoy it.
For even more content, check out our friends Nick and Brandon over at their podcast, Talk or Go Home. Hey everybody, welcome back. Hammy and I are hanging out on a Wednesday to give you guys some...
Thursday.
It is Thursday. Gosh almighty. I've already met... We're 5 minutes or 5 seconds in this podcast and I've already messed up.
Man, with this whole pandemic, I'm surprised I know what month it is.
It's almost August. You know what tomorrow is?
Smarch?
Lousy smarch weather. No, tomorrow is my birthday.
Feliz cumpleaños a ti.
Thank you. De nada. This is not a Spanish podcast.
Don't worry about it.
Easy. So, I don't know. With life going on right now, I'm super, super busy with football. Go figure. Y'all have made it to another year of Clint playing, coaching football, so congratulations to you guys. Haven't really played a whole lot of games. We had Maze's birthday party a couple of weeks ago, and all of his buddies came over, and I hooked up the Super Nintendo and let them play. You go to YouTube and check that out.
What do they think about it?
They seemed like they had a lot of fun with it. Now, they didn't like the fact that I beat their butts in Mortal Kombat 2, but you should have. There's one part on there where you can actually hear them. They're just like in awe whenever I do Liu Kang's dragon fatality. They're like, "What the crap is that?" So it's pretty funny for their reaction. That's the only fatality I can remember.
Forward, down, back, forward?
Back, down, forward. Forward, down, back. Forward, down, back. High kick. Low kick. One or the other. I forget now. B, I'm pretty sure.
Should have been with Reptile and his.
Well, see, I didn't want to go and look. I remembered that one. I wanted to be like the guy like, how do you know all this? I didn't want to be like the guy that used to know all this and I had to go back and look it all up.
There was a point in junior high where I knew every fatality.
Same.
And I practiced them every day so I wouldn't forget them. But I did forget them.
You know what? You know what ruined that for me is whenever Mortal Kombat started going to the combos. I'm not gonna lie.
Mortal Kombat 3.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 3 kind of going forward. I got into it a little bit with Deadly Alliance, even though they totally took out the fatalities.
Yeah.
But
I was out.
Or Armageddon. I'm sorry, Armageddon.
I was out on Mortal Kombat when they changed their system up.
Yeah.
I love 1 through 3 and Ultimate 3. I revere them. And I liked 4.
Yeah, the one for Super. Gosh, listen to me.
PS1 and N64.
And N64,
I've got it for both systems.
I watched something on YouTube the other day that basically had said that the Mortal Kombat trilogy game for PlayStation basically saved PlayStation.
Really?
Yeah, it was a very neat video to watch. For PlayStation?
I do.
Really? Mm-hmm. They said one thing that kind of, obviously the music's great and the graphics are really good. They said the one thing that really hurts it is if you play as or play against Shang Tsung, or Sung, however you say his last name.
Shang Tsung.
When he morphs, there's a loading screen.
Really?
So there's like a pause and a loading screen. He'll come back up, and there's a setting that you can go into. Yeah, there's a setting you can go into to limit the number of characters he can change into, but I guess that's against the computer, like preloaded, pre-rendered people.
Is it because there's so many characters?
That's part of it, but just
because I know in Mortal Kombat 2 it's so smooth.
Right. But there was only, 11, 12 characters in Mortal Kombat 2?
Like
so, and another thing, I watched a video when they were talking to Ed Boon. It is Boone that's still with them, right? He was talking about Mortal Kombat 11, and he was kind of going through the characters and them coming through, the series as a whole. And he talked about whenever they made Mortal Kombat 1 that the reason why Shang Tsung kind of looked old and feeble and didn't have a whole lot of anything about him in that game is because they were running out of memory. And said that what they ended up doing was just giving him a very basic look and then making it where he was a shapeshifter. So the reason why he's a shapeshifter is out of necessity to make him a fighter in the game.
And that shaped the story.
And it did. And they said the same thing about Noom Saibot. Said that, it was just a joke for them. It was Boone and Tobias that made the character because they just wanted to put something secretive in it because at the time that was a big thing, make secrets in games.
That was MK2?
Too. And
I'm trying to
then all of a sudden they ended up making a like actual character out of it and giving him a backstory and everything.
The original Sub-Zero.
Yeah, and it's really cool how all that come into play.
How did you get to Noob Saibot in 2?
Was it the forest level?
No, I thought you had to like win so many.
Maybe that one is win. I think that one is. It's like 25 or 50.
Yeah, because
in a row, and
Smoke was that one level you have to hit down start when you get an uppercut.
Right.
If the dude pops out.
Right, and then Jade was at the endurance match. I think you had to do something at the endurance match. Maybe not block or something.
I think.
I don't know.
It was something.
It'd be great if we had these things, called smartphones, where we could look this stuff up as we went. But
it's out of reach.
it's literally a foot in front of you.
I would have to change my posture.
You would. But anyway, we played that, and then we went on to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters, which is a game we have not reviewed. I have played it a little bit, but basically it is Street Fighters with Ninja Turtles. Mm-hmm. So pretty cool. I did not do so hot in that game just because I'm not a Street Fighter guy, so I don't know all the moves. And one of Maze's buddies, like, he went undefeated, like nobody could beat. He found out one move that was basically unblockable with Donatello.
All games have something called that.
Anyway, nobody could take him. I got close, but nobody could take him all the way out. He beat everybody.
I got my youngest nephew to play Street Fighter one time, and no lie, when he fought Ryu, he just kept doing Hadouken over and over. I mean, not him, but the AI.
Yeah.
Just was spamming it. And he's like, really?
It's funny.
Hadouken. Just kept hitting me.
Well, we went from that to another game on Super Nintendo I've never played, which was Bulls versus Blazers in the NBA playoffs. And it was early EA Sports. So that was a neat throwback.
Before they completely turned evil.
Yeah. And then we topped off the night with Ninja Turtles 4, and the boys had a really good time playing it. They did it on easy, I think, and ran through all their continues, and they didn't get to see Leatherhead.
Really?
Yeah, they beat everything else. It didn't make it to Leatherhead.
We beat the game on hard. Didn't even realize it.
I know. So, and again, we always say this: we've got to do a playthrough and put that on YouTube, just to play through it. But anyway, it was a good time. Unfortunately, that's about all the video games I've played, except for the newly released on Switch Donkey Kong Country.
Nice.
I've made a little bit of time for it. On a playthrough, I went through and beat the game 92%. And it was just an hour and 23 minutes or something. So beat the game. I'm actually really wanting to complete it, the 101%. So I've been going back and doing some of the, trying to find some of the bonus level stuff. But I love that game. It's so good.
We could do a playthrough of that. Once we get to where we can get 101%.
Yeah, well...
Be like the ham and spam guide to get 101%.
Well, we could do that, although at some point we would have to find every bonus stage in Orangutan Gang.
I've seen somewhere a map that showed the...
where the locations. Yeah. There's like, no joke, there's like 5 bonus stages in that one level.
God.
And I think 4 of them are past the halfway point. Because one of them is like right as you start the level, but the only way to get there, you have to go forward and get Espresso, the ostrich, and then backtrack and then fly back basically where the level started, but you're underneath that tree line where you start.
Yeah.
So, anyway, what about you, Hammy? I know you've been a little busy.
been playing Animal Crossing, of course. Got my island up to a 4-star now.
Okay, so the Ham and Spam Retro Review Island is now a 4-star?
It is.
Cool.
Played some more Luigi's Mansion 3. I didn't play the same save that we're doing on YouTube, but
okay,
I did a different one just to kind of go back and try to get all the gems on every
to keep into it. Yeah.
Realize we missed a lot.
Oh yeah. That's one of those games where you can really, if you try to start going through everything, you can really get lost in it.
Yeah, and I don't want to play past where we got, because when we play it on YouTube, that's me seeing it for the first time.
Sure. And we'll get some more of those videos out soon too. We just got to find time. Here we are at this point in the year where we're saying, well, we just got to find time. Find time.
Well, and another game I've been playing a lot on PS4, Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay.
And it is amazing.
You were telling me about this, and it sounds like it is a really, really fluid, very fun game.
It is. It's smooth. Loading times are insanely fast.
Really?
Like, very, very... Like, you fast travel somewhere, and the little loading screen pops up, and it's very smooth, very quick, very well polished. And it's Sucker Punch. They're the guys who did the Infamous games and then did the Sly Cooper games on PS2.
Okay.
But
I remember Sly Cooper.
Absolutely love this game.
Confession, I have not played or touched a PlayStation 3 or a PlayStation 4. And it's not fanboy, it's just whenever I went to Xbox, I'd not come back.
Well, you remember why you went to Xbox?
Yeah, we all do. I went there for NCAA football because the new generation, whenever it first come out, they didn't have NCAA football 07, but Xbox 360 did.
Yeah, I mean, you got the 360 for that, but I know that was almost like a placeholder till PS3 came out.
Right.
And then PS3 launched, and it was grossly overpriced.
Yeah.
Because it launched the same day as Nintendo Wii.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. And I remember I was going to Jacksonville State, and I remember listening to the radio and hearing people talk about it, how Wii was outselling PS3.
Yeah, and
you're like, because it cost a fraction of the price.
Well, that, and then you had this group of kids coming up, and they made it more family oriented, where everybody can play, and that motion sensor was something new and very cool at the time.
And that's what drove me away from Nintendo for a little bit.
Exactly. But yeah, I still have yet. I want to play. It's Metal Gear Solid 4. I've not played it. I want to play it. It's not out for 360 or Xbox One.
I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, that
I played
one just
5.
Got glossed over. It felt like.
And I don't know if it's because of the system or what.
Well,
but
PS3 it didn't really see a lot of success until right at the end.
Right.
When The Last of Us came out. I think that and the Uncharted games were their big.
I would like to play some of the Uncharted games, and I know you're X&A on sports games, but MLB The Show.
Which is coming to Xbox.
What is?
MLB The Show.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I now have no reason to get it. I can.
I think next year, because that's why Casey got a PS.
Right. Casey's real big into PlayStation just because of MLB The Show.
Yeah.
And it looks great. I mean, I'm not a big, huge baseball guy, admittedly, but just sometimes you just kind of want to play something and like just something more realistic. More realistic simulator kind of thing. So
yeah, if I'm not mistaken, they said it's finally going to start coming to Xbox next year.
Okay.
And then Cuphead, which was an Xbox exclusive for one time, then went to Switch. It's out on PS4 now.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, with all that said, I know one of the things that were looking forward to was the gameplay release of some games coming out. Mm-hmm. One of being, because we talk about it all the time, Halo Infinite.
Yep.
You and I have talked. I know you're not, like, you were really fanboyish for it there for a minute, and then you kind of started looking into it. Admittedly, I don't like the grapple system.
Yeah, it's weird.
And I hope the graphics get better. Shot. Yeah, and I hope the graphics get better, which they should.
Well, I don't know. I don't like what they're doing with the whole. It's just going to be Halo Infinite. There's going to be no numbered sequels.
Right.
We're just going to release more little things. kind of like they're doing with the Master Chief Collection, which I mean those are actual games they're putting in it.
Right.
It's like they want to release a whole game as a section, but I don't know. That's the same thing Destiny wanted to do, and that didn't work out for them.
Right. Well, I don't know. I thought that this was going to be a launch title and an exclusive for the new Series X coming out. Apparently, it's not. Apparently, It's coming to Xbox One.
Yep.
And then when Series X comes out, it'll be part of the Game Pass.
Which can't be good for Series X because, I mean, you're making a game that can play on last gen too.
Right.
So how are you going to have a leap forward if it's got a? I mean, they're kind of handicapping it from the get go.
A little bit, but at the same time, if they are making these games where they're already upgraded for the next system, then why not wait for the next system? But I guess they're making it possible to use it for, the current gen people too.
Yeah, what they're doing is actually pretty consumer friendly because it's like you don't have to go out and buy this new system.
Right.
It's going to be on Game Pass. Every game they showed in that whole thing was going to be on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like they're trying to sell Game Pass and not a new console.
And I could get that because what you run into is kind of like any subscription based service where you pay for it and it's reoccurring monthly, and then like me, I'm paying for it, but I haven't turned my Xbox on in a long time, to actually play it. So here I am paying $15.99 a month or whatever, $16.37, whatever it is with tax and everything.
Well,
and they think about it. I mean, if you got, I don't know, 1 million people that do that, you're getting $16 million a month.
They've got over 10 million.
Well, I mean, think about it. If 1 million people are doing that, though, you're getting nearly $16 million a month.
Yeah.
Just for people not even playing it.
And with 10, it's 160 million a month.
Right. I
mean, I was actually talking to Jeff about this. Like, you take PlayStation, they've got PS Now, which is similar. It's more expensive though. I'm not sure what the total is on it. It's been out for about 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
And I think they just now got 1 million subscribers to it. But it's strictly streaming. Like, you stream the game.
Ugh, how does that work?
Not well. Whereas Game Pass, you download it. And I think there may be a few games with the PS Now you can download. But with Game Pass, everything's downloaded. So you download it and play it. It's $15 a month. I mean, think about it, $15 a month. It takes 4 months to get to the price of a game.
Right.
So that's 3 games a year.
Sure.
And right off the bat, you've got Halo Infinite.
Right. A lot of the new stuff. Yeah, a lot of the new stuff that's coming strictly for the Game Pass, pretty much.
So it's a great deal.
Oh, yeah.
It's outstanding. And plus, with the Ultimate, you got the access to the Game Pass on PC.
Yeah, so if you do both, going back and forth.
Coming this fall, they're releasing xCloud, which is streaming.
Okay.
Where you can stream games, and you can stream it on different devices, not just your Xbox or PC, like your phone.
Okay.
Which is going to be included with what you pay now for Game Pass. So.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to go ahead and call this one in our little neck of the woods. That ain't never going to work.
That ain't, no, it's not going to work at all. But it's kind of funny because they pretty much just single-handedly killed Google Stadia.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it was on its last life anyway.
Yeah, it didn't start out well.
One of the games that has recently come out, what, yesterday or today? I like to call it the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids game.
Yesterday. Yeah.
Yesterday.
Grounded.
I'm really interested in it. I
played some last night with
it.
Alex. It's fun.
So is it a purchase game or is it
It's Game Pass.
It is Game Pass.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it? It's not exclusive to Xbox, is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Look at Xbox bringing the thunder.
It comes from Obsidian, which is now owned by Xbox. Now, Obsidian did Outer Worlds, which is a really good game too. It came out for all platforms, but they were already working on it before they came to Xbox. But yeah, Grounded, and then some other game they're doing called Avowed, which they're just now working on. But Obsidian, they were the guys who did the first 2 Fallouts.
Okay.
And but Grounded, you haven't played any survival games I know of.
No, not a whole lot of them.
It's kind of a lot like Ark,
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot like The Forest, which is a game I absolutely love on PC.
Now, what game are we talking about?
Grounded.
Okay, Grounded's like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
the survival games where you have to gather your resources.
Sure.
You have to watch your thirst and your hunger, and you have to. If you die, like you lose your entire inventory, you can go back and find it.
Right.
But so it's fun. It's really cool.
I want to tell a story right quick. Maze, I think it was the day before his birthday. I had asked him to do something, and I walked into his room and asked him to do it like for the 14th time, and he's sitting there playing Minecraft.
Yeah.
So he leaves to finally go do what I asked him to. So I picked up Minecraft, and y'all, if you guys don't know, I've never played it. I've tinkered at it, but I don't hardly know anything about it. So I got on there and just started goofing off. He's actually in a game. He's not creating. He's actually in a game. And I make him so mad whenever I got his character killed because he lost all his stuff. And that's all I hear. Dad, you killed me. I lost all this stuff. Well, the funny thing is all his buddies were online. So I'm listening to him with a headset, and like all you can hear is Maze in the background screaming at me not to kill his character. And his buddies are egging me on. And this is like the night before they're supposed to come over.
Oh man.
Oh man, it was a fun time. I ended up killing Maze's character, and he lost all his inventory.
Wow. So you can go find it.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. He's like, I don't know. I don't even want to say everything he was talking about because it was. I'm going to sound stupid, but yeah, he was upset. He was really upset. I mean, highly. I give it like a 9 out of 10. He was upset. So,
do love some Minecraft.
I can see where it'd be a fun game, but it's just not my cup of tea. Here lately, nothing has been though.
We played a lot on 360.
Yeah,
and which I see it right there for 360.
Yep. That's Maze's copy that he brought in here because he's got it for Xbox One now.
One of the updates to introduce, you can find these random mansions out in the world, and it was me, it was Alex, and a couple other of our friends, and we got in the mansion, killed all the monsters, put torches everywhere so monsters couldn't spawn inside of it, and had it like we had that was our base as a mansion. And Alex decided he wanted a lava pit in his room.
That's the most Alex thing ever.
He had it. He was proud of it. He turned around to do something else. When he turned back around, the lava had set everything on fire, burned the entire mansion to the ground.
Yeah, that is the most Alex thing ever. So,
well, it was fun watching it go.
Well, what else is going on? We just had a great Mexican meal.
Oh my gosh, I needed that.
Well, you had called. Well, I'd called you, and you had said that we needed to go out and get some Mexican food. So
that is my absolute favorite food.
For my birthday, I wanted to take Hammy out for Mexican, so that I got my birthday present tonight early. Thank you, Hammy.
You're welcome.
There's a question mark there. Gosh, I'm kind of running out of things to talk about. This is the first time I've seen you, and
it's been a while.
It's been a minute.
You lost the mustache.
I did. I finally shaved it a little bit. Well, I don't know if anybody wants to hear about that, but it was fine. I didn't mind it, but I was like, well, if I want to ever do like a goatee or anything, I'll have to shave it and start all over because it's just going to look funny if I have, a 5 o'clock shadow everywhere else and this mustache hanging out. So
I mean, you look like Magnum PI. It'd be awesome.
Okay, if you say so.
I already know that's my favorite character.
I know. And that's I guess a mini plug for our YouTube episode of Hammy's or the Ham and Spam Animal Crossing Island, Driftwood. And
you got to notice that like every creative character I make in games is usually Magnum PI.
Yeah, it really is. I've noticed that.
Even my Dark Souls character was Thomas Magnum.
Well, this is, I don't want to call this a bonus episode. It's just more of a, hey, let's hang out and chill out.
So, hey, we're still alive episode.
Right. Obviously, as things get more tight as far as time goes, it'll be a little harder to get there, but hopefully it won't be near as long as it has been. But some things coming up. I know we have reached out to Nick of Talk or Go Home fame about doing a watch-along. We're going to let him pick the movie, though. So Nick, if you are listening to this and you have not gotten us your movie suggestion, we need it soon so we can get this done.
Jurassic Park 2: The Lost World.
That's a deep cough. You good there, buddy?
It is. I think I'm all right. I'm all right. Not COVID. I've been tested.
Well, I was on Nick's podcast, Nick and Brandon's podcast. Brandon couldn't make a recording, and Nick asked me to come on, so we recorded an episode for theirs, Talk or Go Home podcast. So if you get a chance and you're looking for something else to listen to besides this wonderful, great 5-star rated podcast, go and check that one out. That was episode 9 of season 2. We got to figure out what we're doing. Like, I've got it listed as season 2 right now, but we've only got one episode, and that was the one with Maze playing the original Ninja Turtles. We got to figure out how exactly we're gonna go about this.
Well, 2020 has been the year of normal is gone.
Yeah. See that? I mean, we can sit here and blame that we haven't had time, which we haven't. We have been quarantined. Right now, it's crazy the everything that's going on with the mask. At least here in Alabama, we've been supposed to have mask on for the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks now, and they extended it now to the end of August. Yeah. So just be safe, people, and that's what we're kind of chalking some of this up to. Is we're trying to be safe. I've got Maze. He's 12 now, and he's not really the demographic you got to worry about. But my mom and your parents obviously are in that demographic that you have to worry about. So we've been trying to keep those guys in mind. We're not so much worried about us necessarily. We're more worried about them. So we've been trying to keep our distance from each other and other people. And as we go to the Mexican restaurant tonight, but.
Everyone was practicing safety, social distance, and such, and this and that. My brother had to be tested. Someone at his work tested positive for it.
Really? Yeah. We went from having 0 direct cases to now having 4 direct cases at my work.
Wow.
And obviously, if you're positive, you're home for at least 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they want you 2 weeks, retest, and then at least a week after you've tested negative, just to make sure it's completely out of the system. Crazy times, man. I mean, that's a normal, everyday term.
Well, there was a church in North Alabama that I think 40 people tested positive.
Wow.
For it. So I know my church, we've been having service there, but we've got everyone wears masks, and we've roped off every other pew to stay distant. But I think we're actually gonna probably start going back to just the streaming for a little while.
Really?
Yeah, because we did have some people or someone test positive that was in contact with people at church. A friend of a friend kind of thing. But we want to be safe because...
Well, and that's the hard part, too. I know I think I had seen where I believe it was Ohio State. They are going to 20% capacity in their stadiums, assuming they even have a college football season at this point.
That's still up in the air.
That's very up in the air. The SEC announced today that they are going to go to a 10-game conference-only schedule.
That could change.
And that could change. So,
because I know just here in this state, this past month, despite all the stuff we've done, cases have just kept going up.
Right. But here's the thing, and I don't want to get too deep into this, which it sounds like we're about to. You can't
do it. Just jump in.
Just jump in. You can't believe every number. I mean, there's no right way or wrong way of doing this test right now. There's no 100% guaranteed way that's going to be. There's not even 90% guaranteed way of testing this right now. You get false positives, you get false negatives, you get, anybody that if you have a trace of COVID, you're counted, and you happen to die, you are part of that number, no matter what you died. You could have died from a heart attack.
Yeah.
And if they find COVID, they give you COVID or give you a COVID death, or they tally you on as a COVID death. So,
well, the way I look at it is, whether or not it's inaccurate, I would rather treat it as accurate right now.
I would like to treat it as accurate, but it's getting to the point for me personally where I'm kind of, I don't want to say over it. Like I'm social distancing. I'm washing my hands. I'm wearing a mask where I have to, meaning if I'm around a bunch of people, I will. Like we went to eat tonight. We walked right into the door, through the vestibule, right into the door, got seated. I never put my mask on. I wasn't around anybody except you and Carrie and Caitlin during that time frame. So I social distanced. I walked in, no mask, didn't pass by anybody, didn't walk by anybody. They had the restaurant spaced out like it needed to be. So, I'm doing everything I need to do from that standpoint. So, like here in Alabama, they just announced that schools, if third graders through seniors have to wear masks here in school now.
Second graders through seniors.
It's second graders.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was second grade. I thought it was third graders. So you're going to tell me that, let's see, 5, 6, 7-year-olds have to wear a mask? How are you going to make a 7-year-old wear a mask for 7 hours?
It's going to be crazy.
It is going to be crazy.
I don't, since we're deep anyway, it seems to me like that high-speed internet is becoming more of a necessity than a luxury.
Yeah.
Especially when dealing with this.
Yep.
And, we've talked about how bad our internet is. Right down the road, it's even worse. I mean, I've got a buddy that lives on the river. The best he can get is 3 megabytes.
Yeah.
And if we get to this point again where we have to
homeschool and things like that,
do stuff, cyber school, whatever, then I think they need to be able to deliver that high-speed internet.
Well,
or at least I know that there are some churches that are letting kids come in and providing them with internet and ways to do that.
Well, and that's the good thing about our school. They're allowing a high-speed mobile, portable hotspot.
Yeah.
So that's been the good thing. I don't know how well it does. Obviously, like our download speeds here are okay. I can get between 20 and 24 pretty consistent. That's the upload that really kills us as far as doing anything streaming wise and anything like that.
But even if the speed's there are some families don't have a computer.
Yeah.
Or have any way to get online.
Yeah.
So it's just, I think it's kind of bringing a lot of things to light that we need to think about going forward. Because, we were talking earlier about how that they found the bubonic plague in China now.
Yeah.
So what is going on over there?
Yeah. So somebody rewound about 600 years.
What ancient tomb did they disturb?
It's like the Mummy. Yeah. He opened it up, and here comes the Scorpion King.
Send Brendan Fraser over there to fix it.
Brandon Fraser hasn't fixed anything. He can't fix his career. He can't fix anything else.
You hush your mouth. That man's a national treasure.
Isn't he Canadian? Am I wrong in that?
He's whatever he wants to be. He's awesome. He's Encino Man.
This reminds me.
George of the Jungle. You leave him alone. He's
also Dudley Do-Right, I believe.
He's got a show now.
Oh, does he?
Well, he does a voice on the DC show.
Oh, okay. You saying all that reminds me of that time in Spanish class where we had to do reports on Hispanic people, and yours was Antonio Banderas.
Another fine American, I think.
Hammy makes a photo or makes a poster, clips out photos of.
Well, we had to have posters. We had to have visual aids, which I think is bull crap anyway. I'm giving a speech. Why do I need visual aids?
Exactly.
And so, there we go. You know what I didn't have at the time?
Internet.
Exactly. I didn't. This was what, 2000?
Yeah, 2000.
And I mean, we had dial up at best. I didn't have any means of getting pictures.
Yeah.
Unless, the newspaper just happened to come with a cutout of Antonio Banderas.
Just so happens.
So I cut out of whatever magazines we had the best pictures I could find and come up with. And it just so happened that my Antonio Banderas poster had a picture of George W. Bush. And it also had a picture of a P-51 Mustang from World War II.
The captions underneath the photos is what was great.
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, I had to relate it back to Antonio Banderas. So, look, this is the best I can do. So, George W. Bush was the president of the country where Antonio Banderas works. And the P-51 Mustang was the plane that Antonio Banderas would have flown had he fought in World War II.
You can't make this up.
So, I wish I saw that post.
I wish you did too.
I think Miss Lee cut it up into pieces.
She probably just looked at you and said, "Just to get you out of here, you can get a C-." And it's funny because you minored in Spanish in college.
No, I minored in English. What you talking about? But to do that, I had to take a lot of Spanish.
That's messed up. Oh, goodness. That reminds me of...
Now that I'm older, I wish I actually paid attention and could speak it. But no, wasn't my presentation voted like the best by our classmates?
No, that was
my pinata.
That was your pinata.
that I also
Go ahead and tell it.
Half-hearted.
Go ahead and tell it.
Well, we're supposed to make pinatas and make them out of paper mache, and you're supposed to make one and bring to class, and everyone will look at it.
And they judge them.
Yeah, and so I don't know what I started out making. I think I was making the sun.
Well, back up just a little bit. In order to make this, what you have to do, you blow up a balloon, and then you put paper mache over the balloon, and whenever it hardens and dries, you pop the balloon from the inside and pull it out. So
Right.
there's a small hole where the balloon was, or where the balloon tail came out. Well, you, like you said, we're trying to make the sun, and it's kind of oblong.
Like this weird yellow paper.
Yeah, not mache.
Just some kind of, what would you call it? Just
I don't even
paper shreds to it.
Yeah,
and
almost like cupcake wrappers is what it reminds me of.
Halfway through it, I was like, I don't really want to do this anymore. This kind of sucks. So instead of finishing whatever it was I was making, on the rest of it, I just took a Sharpie and drew a face. So that what yellow was on there was like hair, and then there was a face, and the hole where the balloon came out was his mouth. And
This is great.
I taped I taped a long piece of red construction paper and wrote "What's up" on one side,
because that was big at the time.
Yeah,
it was the "What's Up" Budweiser commercial where they're calling each other going "What's up."
So I said "What's up," and on the back, to keep it true to Spanish, I put "Que pasa." And that got voted best.
It got voted best, but she
was not happy.
She was not happy with it. I can't. I don't understand that.
Did you buy yours, by the way?
No.
You really made yours?
Yeah.
Yours was fantastic.
It was a star.
Like, yours looked like you bought it.
No.
I thought for years that you cheated and bought it.
No, gosh, no. The only thing that I cheated, and I use that in quotations, I hot glued the little paper things on.
Okay.
No, mine was really a big.
Good.
Mine was a big balloon, and obviously, when you popped it and started putting the paper mache, I took party hats, and that was the legs of the stars. Too. So
I mean, you could have a career in pinata making.
No, I cannot, because that's a lot of work for that. What we did end up busting mine though. We filled it with candy and busted it. I don't know if you remember that. No, you're probably sent out in the hall, dude. There's so many.
You were sent out in the hall.
I was probably sent out in the hall, but we're not going to tell that story right now.
We were terrible students. Now I think about it.
Oh my gosh, we how much time have we been in here? Let me see. If we need to make the rest of the podcast.
I don't know what those numbers mean, but they don't keep up with time on that thing.
Yeah, they do. Up here at the top. I think that says 36, 38 maybe. I think we got time. Do you need to answer that?
Nah.
Sure.
Yeah, it's my nephew. I'll call him back.
All right. So, Justin, is that who that is?
Yep.
So, Justin, if you're listening to this episode, which I highly doubt,
No,
you are calling right now, and Hemi has said, no, I'm not answering.
I don't think anyone from my close family even listens.
I
got cousins.
You should, yeah. So you should get your nephews and whatnot to listen as well.
I wish I could.
Tell Justin he's mentioned in this episode. Maybe he'll listen at the 38-minute mark. So how do I tell this story? Like I don't even know the backstory to it.
Why were you singing?
I don't know. So at one point,
exactly what you're talking about.
Yes, at one point, you know how you get an earworm for a song sometimes.
Yeah,
I got an earworm for "It's So Easy to Fall in Love."
I've never heard that term before.
No,
I've never heard it.
That's what it's called. It's an earworm. That's like.
File that under another one of Clint's.
No, that's an actual thing. I can prove it. Google earworm right now while I'm telling this story.
All right.
Anyway, I had an earworm for "It's So Easy to Fall in Love," and like before class, I'm sitting there singing it, like a retard. Can I say that? I don't know, like a dummy. And I'm sitting there singing "It's So Easy to Fall in Love." Well, then class starts, and the Spanish teacher's like, "Okay, quit." Actually, she said Javier quit because in the English class or Spanish class, we all had to have Spanish names for some reason. Mine was Javier. What was yours?
Juan.
Anyway, so she's asking a question, and is it an actual like earworm? Is that what you're pulling up? I don't want. It's an ear corn. I don't think that counts.
With a worm on it.
I don't think that counts.
No, you're right. That's apparently a term I've never heard.
Okay, there you go.
That's the most horrifying term I've ever heard.
Well, anyway, so the teacher's up. She's asking questions, and she asks a question to the class, and I raise my hand, and she calls on me, and I just start singing the song again. She's asking like, what does El Coche mean, which is car, and she's like, Javier, what does it mean? Or she said it in Spanish. Anyway, I just start singing.
Just out of nowhere.
So she gets on to me, and she moves on. Well, about 15 minutes later, she asks another question. I raise my hand, and she reluctantly calls on me, but she did call on me. And then I started singing again.
What's great is you're doing hand gestures
the whole
time while you're singing.
So
it's like you're waving.
The second time that it happened, she sends me out to the hall because she's just tired of dealing with me at this point. So another 15 minutes goes by, and I'm sitting there and I'm kind of listening through the door because I'm just out in the hallway, and the door has this little window on it, and it's a little diamond-shaped window. And I knock on the door and look through the window and start singing again.
While doing the same hand gesture. Didn't she block the window?
Yeah, she come up and blocked the window, and that was kind of it. Then I got in trouble after class, but...
We were terrible.
Do you remember Spanish 1 when we had to do...
Probably not. I don't remember what I had for breakfast this morning.
Well, in Spanish 1, we had to do reports on different things that were Spanish associated. Mine was bullfighting. And it's the same thing. You had to have a poster. You had to have, all this visual aid stuff, and you had to give a speech on it too. I'm like you at that point. I was like, I'm not giving a speech on this. Everybody knows what bullfighting is. So I get up, put my little poster up, and it's literally got like 3 pictures of bullfighters. And I just look at the class and say, bullfighting. It's people fighting bulls. And then I go and sit down. I think I got a D on that. But, yeah, we were, gosh, and let's not even we'll have to get into beta club trips, which you weren't a part of the infamous beta club trip.
No, my grades slipped in school, and I got kicked out of the beta club.
Probably because you were making was-up pinatas.
Yeah, I stopped. I developed senioritis at about 8th grade.
And it's funny, well, it's not funny, but it's sad because you're so smart. Like, you are so gifted smart, and it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, but it was a lot more fun to
not be smart.
Right. Dumb people have a lot more fun.
Well, I tell you what, I guarantee you, next time we have Justin on, we will tell the full blown Beta Club story.
Oh yeah,
Beta Club
we gotta
convention
get
story.
him back on.
Because that is infamous.
I still love
with
the
us
picture.
anyway.
The picture from that trip.
No, let's not spoil it.
Yeah,
I'll let you into
it. Do you
it.
have that picture still?
I've seen it. I don't think I've got it.
You need to
though.
find it, and we need to put it on
Instagram or something. Yeah. I don't know if I've only seen it like since I've graduated, maybe twice.
Got it. Can I just tell what it is?
Sure, we were such hellraisers.
You went to some museum.
It was the McWayne Center.
Okay, whatever. You went to McWayne Center, and they have this giant, like porcelain. What was a bass?
Yeah.
This ginormous fish that was big enough that Clint could crawl into it, to the mouth of. So you got this big freshwater fish statue. Clint's hanging half out of it, acting like he's getting eaten in the picture. But what made the picture perfect is behind you, unbeknownst to you, a security guard is rounding the corner looking right at you.
Like, what is wrong with this kid?
It's like, seriously? This guy?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we got to find that picture.
Yeah, we got to find that picture for sure. There you go. Memory lane. I like memory lane.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously, we'll have to get Justin on here to tell the infamous Beta Club story. Justin is a great storyteller. I'm sure you know that,
yeah.
But I don't know if everybody else knows that. Justin is a great storyteller. When he gets into it, man, it is.
Well, he was there for every one of our antics.
He was probably the cause of a lot of our antics.
Yeah, he was the instigator, probably.
Wow, we have really moved off video games.
What's that? Oh, yeah.
So moving forward the rest of the week or whatever, what are you gonna keep playing this?
Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, I want to beat it. I haven't beaten it. I'm taking my time with it.
Yeah.
Like, I got one friend who got it after I did and beat it like 5 days ago.
Wow. Okay.
So I beat it in like 2 or 3 days, and I've had it now for over a week.
See, that's the thing.
I'm just taking it slow, man. I'm enjoying it.
That's the thing that I don't know if I like about the games that are that are out today. You can take a Breath of the Wild, and you can beat it in literally 20 minutes. You could.
Yeah. I've seen a guy.
I've seen the guy on YouTube do it in his underwear. Well, not his underwear, in Link's underwear.
Yeah.
Or you can go through the entire thing, and it might take you 400 hours. And I'm just guessing here.
I played the game for 80 hours before I beat it.
Okay. Well,
And not because I couldn't, it's because I was enjoying it. And that's the same with this game. I
Right.
just like going around and looking and finding stuff because there's a lot of secrets to find. I enjoy it. It's like a fine meal, man.
Yeah.
If you get somewhere and you have like a nice big Wagyu steak from Wagyu beef, like the most expensive steak
right.
you can get, and like a fine wine and all the dressings, real fancy restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna sit there and wolf it down like it's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Exactly.
You want to enjoy it. You want to savor the experience.
Well, see, and
That's
I
how
think
I feel about this. Game.
that's the issue that I have is all these people are getting brand new games and they're spoiling it for everybody on Twitter and everything about how about when this person died, and it's like, man, are you serious? You know, why play the game anymore? Because you kind of spoiled it for me. But you know, this is the bad thing about my short-lived time as a completionist when it came to the Xbox 360 games. Whenever I was all about that game score, 100% in the games and stuff, it took away from the game. A lot of it really did take away from the game.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm feeling it now to the point where I don't want to say I don't enjoy it, but it made games take a back seat for a good long time that I'm just now, well, not just now, but I've had to slowly get back into playing games.
Yeah.
And everybody's just crapping on the story of all these games now, and it's all about the online. And I'm just like, that's not the part of the games I enjoyed.
Mm-mm.
So I don't know.
Look, I mean, story's great. Don't get me wrong, but my number one thing is if the gameplay is very enjoyable, because that's what you're doing most of the time.
Yeah, it's supposed to be an escape.
And this game has both. It's got an incredible story. The gameplay, the combat is so smooth, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
See, you make it sound like I would really like, because I've always liked the Assassin's Creed games. Now
it's
they
a
do
lot
get
like it.
repetitive. I will be the first to say they do get repetitive. I still have yet to play Odyssey. I got into Origins, beat it, loved it. I think the thing that I'm not looking forward to in Odyssey is the ship battles.
They're easy.
Well, it's just in general because you got the rowers, and then you got to, because it had a little bit of it in Origins, and I didn't enjoy the ship battles. Now Black Flag, loved. That's my number one Assassin's Creed game, and I don't know if it could. Origins came close, I will say, but I don't think anything. It's going to take something very, very special.
Well, the thing with Odyssey, it's more about getting close enough to boredom,
right?
So it's a lot more of that combat.
Yeah. See, I enjoyed the cannon fire and throwing the barrels to make sure nobody's tailing you, and going from here to here and really getting around the map that way.
Yeah.
Than what this is, because one of the things I didn't like about Origins was all the the small boat play. Where you're in a small boat and you're trying to get from one spot to another, and yeah, you can fast travel to a bunch of places, but if you don't have them all unlocked, you can't. You have to. And there's some parts of the game where there is no fast travel.
And that became kind of a chore, is going around unlocking fast travel points.
Yeah. That's like one of the first things I did just so I could fast travel.
Yeah, that's true.
That's probably smart. I don't know.
But, well, how about games coming out this year besides Halo? What are you looking forward to?
I have no idea what's coming. I'm not even gonna lie. I am looking forward to. I'm gonna say this. I'm probably gonna make you mad. I'm looking forward to the new Breath of the Wild. Even though I've not played the first one.
There's no telling when that's going to come out now. They haven't. It's been over 400 days
since the trailer.
Yeah, and they have said nothing. It's been 100% speculation on the part of.
Well, it's speculation on the title too.
No one knows.
Yeah.
This year though, we've got Cyberpunk 2077.
I'm on that.
I'm interested.
I would play it. Don't get me wrong.
I'm a huge Blade Runner fan, so it's exciting to play a game that's kind of, sort of
okay
like that. Also, you got Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh, I forgot about that. I am looking forward to that.
And I've seen some more stuff about that. It's got me excited.
Norse god stuff?
Well, like you can do full-out raids with your crew.
See, that's one thing I think that's always been missing. It almost gets to an RTS kind of game in a way.
It shows you laying siege to a castle, and they're putting up the ladders, and you grab onto the ladder as it's going up. So when it props up against the castle wall,
you're the first one going up it and leading the charge.
It looks awesome.
I am looking forward to that. I forgot. I've literally forgotten about that game. I'm so out of touch with video games right now, outside of the retro games that we've been playing. But I am looking forward to that. Is it 30-year Mario anniversary? Is that coming out this year?
Well, and
again, I haven't heard anything else on it.
Well, that's the thing. I heard stuff like it was confirmed, and now it's looking like it's not confirmed. Like that's the one thing about Nintendo, and it's not really their fault, but their fans, and I count myself as a Nintendo fanboy, but there's some that get like so wound up about it, and they say, oh, like the least little speculation, they take it as gospel truth.
Yes.
And they just had a direct not too long ago where they showed a bunch of indie games, and they even said beforehand, hey, this is just going to be our third-party games,
right.
10-minute mini direct.
And people bashed them for it.
People went nuts. Like, how dare you lie to us? Like, we told you what it was going to be.
Well, it's unfortunate, but
what
was all rumored for that?
Oh man, it was
64,
Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, which is a game I didn't like at the time, but I'm starting to appreciate a little more.
Yeah, I mean, and that happens. I know one thing about Sunshine that a lot of people did not like was, what was inverted about it? Was it left-right inverted? I think it was.
I don't know. I just didn't like having to clean up all the goop with your Super Soaker.
Anyway, there was something inverted on it, and you couldn't change it. I don't think it was necessarily the look, the x or the y axis. I think the x axis was inverted.
I don't know. I do want to get new Paper Mario though. That looks
I
pretty cool.
I would like to play it too.
I've
I've not
watched-
played any of the Paper Mario games.
The humor in it is different than
Right.
the Mario games, and also got Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remastered coming out.
Yeah.
was
I liked
all
it.
about-
I liked it when they
Oh,
came
yeah.
out. I'm not a huge X Games fan, skate fan or whatever. So
I was a Tony Hawk fan back in the day, and I never owned a skateboard. Wanted one, but there's nowhere to skate in rural Alabama, so so I never had one. So, but I loved Pro Skater 2. That was my favorite.
I think I played more 3 than I did 2, but I remember how big it was.
I want to get the remakes just for the '90s nostalgia.
I
If
can
it's
see
still
that.
in there.
Assuming that they haven't changed like the soundtrack. I'm assuming that it's going to be the same game, updated visuals, updated graphics.
If not, I'm just going to find it on eBay and get it.
Man, I would really like to see a Jet Moto remake come out. You remember Jet Moto?
I do not.
It's kind of like
I do, but I never played
It's like a hover cycle,
Okay.
and it had a boost, and it had this like really cool grapple thing. So you basically, it's not a figure 8, but it's almost like a figure 8 track, kind of like the ones in Origins. Where you're kind of going around and around and around.
Yeah.
Anyway, you got this grapple, and you'd shoot the grapple out, and it would go around this electrical beam, and it helped you go around the sharper turns. So it was a fun game. I did enjoy it. What other games are coming out?
Yeah, I'm not real sure. I think those are the big ones.
I am looking
I feel
forward
like
to
there's
Infinite.
something that's just I'm forgetting about.
I'm looking forward to Infinite just for a and
I mean, I'll play it because it's on Game Pass. And hopefully
X-Nay on the story. I understand the issues with the story about the last 2 games they've already killed off the bad guy or just abandoned the story, and I get that. I'm just looking forward to a Halo game.
Yeah,
I do like the
gameplay's
fact
good, and it looked pretty good.
I do
It
like the
looked
fact that they
Halo.
included Halo Wars. So now it's almost like, in a sense, Halo Wars is now canon
Yeah,
because they've included the boss. Well, part of the story. They've included part of the story from Halo 2 into this part.
yeah. See,
into
that
this
was, and that was sometimes worried about because they killed the didact off in the comic book, which was stupid, absolutely stupid.
Yeah, but you don't play
That's
play the game you don't go from one media to a different media. If
Yeah.
that makes sense. You use the games to promote the media. You don't
Right.
use the media to promote the games.
And I told you that was like killing Thanos off between Infinity War and Endgame.
Right, where there's no movie, literally.
Yeah, like you don't see it in the prime medium. And
Well, it's almost not Dark Knight. What was the last one?
Dark Knight Rises,
Dark Knight Rises.
where Joker was.
Joker wasn't in it. I mean, we all know why.
Yeah,
And they barely mentioned him, but they had to kind of tell it. But that's essentially what it is. They just, hey, Joker's not around.
yeah.
We haven't found him. He's whatever.
But yeah, but they killed Didact off. Halo Wars 2 had Atriox was the leader of the Banished, and they mentioned that new brute chieftain or whatever mentioned about Atriox memory, and now I'm worried that they've killed him off.
Yeah.
Well, there's gonna be a comic book come out next week where they kill him, and they killed Rookie from ODST off in a book.
What?
Yeah, and all it was is he got shot in the head by a human, just like executed.
Wow.
I
See,
all right.
the
I
guy.
hate 343. There, I said it. I hate them.
Well, you're not alone. The guys who were at Finish the Fight, they don't care for a lot of the story. Just they understand why they do it, why they do some of what they do, but there's a lot they do that they're not big fans of.
It's just terrible. With Infinite, I was disappointed to see that sprinting and mantling are back.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be in Halo games.
Well,
And then the aim down sights. I mean,
it's not from
the worst thing from
it's not
me.
the worst thing from a shooting standpoint, but from a Halo standpoint, it's not Halo. I don't I don't aim down sights except for a sniper rifle.
And it's weird that they put it in because
rifle.
the accuracy is identical from the hip, just like all Halo games. So it's weird that they put it in. I don't know. It's
just to help ease the going from one to the other between Call of Duty and Halo. Let's call it. That's what it is.
I mean, Halo was big before Call of Duty.
Yeah, but
and
Call of Duty surpassed them though.
Yeah, but then they started trying to clone them.
Right.
I mean, that's
but what could Halo do?
Well, why
wow,
would you
we are in the
them?
weeds on this. We should almost make a whole nother episode for this.
But why would you copy them? I mean,
actually, let's do that.
No, let's keep it here.
Okay.
Because you said it's almost like they should copy Call of Duty. I think they shouldn't.
No. I'm saying they made the mold and said, okay, this is what this genre of game is going to be, and everybody praised it. Well, then the second one come out, and all they did was, I don't want to say all they did, but what they did was they really emphasized more on the multiplayer. The online multiplayer. That's what Xbox Live was basically built for, was Halo 2. Well, Halo 3, more multiplayer, but we're going to finish out this series, and we're really going to make this game, the bee's knees. And they did the same thing with Reach. And I understand it's a different studio, but...
No, Reach was still Bungie.
Yeah, I know that. I'm just saying, I understand that those 3 games were a separate studio from the last 2.
Okay, I got you.
But what was groundbreaking about 1? First-person shooter. I mean, with 2-stick layout. It's the first one, right? With a 2-stick layout?
No, that was Aliens versus Predator game on PS2.
So still, Halo was still the first one. It was the one that really defined the genre.
Halo, the big thing with it is it was almost like an open world when you first come in.
Right.
And it was that sense of what is going on. I'm on this ring, and there were so many twists.
The story.
Turns. And what they did with the 2-stick, well, what they did control-wise was just so smooth and
right.
and well done.
Well, I keep asking these questions, but really what I'm getting at is what could they do now going forward that would be groundbreaking to make Halo, oh my God.
Make an
Halo
actual
again.
Halo game. That would be groundbreaking. Because they've turned it into a Call of Duty clone just like every other shooter that comes out.
Well,
I mean...
I can't say you're wrong. I really can't.
I mean, when you played 1 through 3 and you're playing multiplayer, your gun's up all the time. Unless you're reloading, you're throwing a grenade, or you're meleeing. Sprinting, gun goes down. Mantling, you're in an animation, gun goes down. It really slows down the combat.
Yeah.
And that also makes it so they're now making bigger maps since you got sprint, and they're making it so you have these mantle points where you can climb up.
Yeah.
And look at how terrible level design has been with 343.
I'll give you that. But again, I mean, outside of making an actual Halo game, okay, smaller maps, disable the mantling.
But they don't have
no
to
sprint. I mean, you ain't got to reinvent the wheel. I understand that, but what would be what could you do that would be groundbreaking? That would.
Well, why do you need it to be groundbreaking? I mean, Zelda games have told the same story for 35 years, and they're still considered the best games there are. I mean, with Halo, I mean, people have been asking since Reach for one thing, they want the multiplayer from 2 and 3 back with the separate social and ranked playlist.
Right.
Because there are some people.
I thought they had that
for social.
They've got that in 5 now.
Do they not? Do they?
Yeah.
Okay. But it's almost like they're trying to be groundbreaking, and they're trying
too hard.
Yeah, they're doing all the wrong things.
But in doing so, they're just cloning themselves to be Call of Duty.
Right. And it's just, I think that's what a lot of people loved about Halo is it did stand out. It played differently than everything else.
But here's the thing: if you love those old Halo games, go play the old Halos.
You know who you sound like right now?
Who?
Dan Matrick.
I don't know who that is.
Dan Matrick was the guy who was the head of Xbox when Xbox One first came out. And what was the question someone asked him? Something about, well, what if you want to play your Xbox offline? He's like, well, then play Xbox 360.
That's not what I mean, obviously, but it's almost like the 1, 2, and 3 in Reach were just, and again, I understand it's different studios, but they were so good that they're held in such high esteem that you'll never hit that bar. You'll never hit that bar again. because it was so new and exciting at the time. It was groundbreaking. That's why I keep bringing up groundbreaking.
Well,
what could
I
they
don't
do
think it was
to
groundbreaking as much as it was just good.
Okay.
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And 343.
Yeah, but then you're going to have a bunch of people say, "Well, this is just the same dadgum game every time I turn around. Why am I going to spend $60 on it?"
Yeah, but then you're going to have more people saying "Thank God" and playing it.
Well, it's.
I mean, if you look at sales, I actually saw a Twitter back and forth a couple of nights ago about talking about the sales that the Halo sales under 343 have been abysmal.
Well,
like people have lost their faith in it. I for one, you know what kind of a big Halo fanboy I was for so long. I mean, my gosh, I was buying all kinds of stuff that had Halo on it. Yeah, I bought that one bag.
You got the satchel. You have to carry your 360 around.
And they've completely just taken the wind out of those sales.
I just wonder how much. I mean, obviously they don't have the same people. You know, the people that were with Bungie moved on and was still with Bungie for the most part. And then the 343, you know, they kind of branched off and now they're doing their own thing. Like, would the fix be to bring, you know, was it Marty O'Donnell? Is that his name? Martin O'Donnell?
Yeah, the sound composer.
No, okay. Who's the other guy?
I don't know, but bringing Marty O'Donnell back would be freaking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, oh gosh, yes. Who is the main boss that's had so much influence on 1, 2, 3 and Reach? Marty something, ain't it?
No, Frank O'Connor.
Frank O'Connor. That's it. I get O'Connor.
I thought he was at 343.
I don't think he is anymore.
I think you're right, but I think he was for a while at least.
I don't know. That'd be a good Google as you're doing that right now.
Frank O'Connor. Here he is. No, that was an Irish writer of over 150 works. That was my.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. But yeah, I was under the impression that he's not with me, or maybe he left after 4, and that's why 5 was so terrible. I like 5 from the multiplayer standpoint, as I sit here and crash the multiplayer junk, but
I hated the multiplayer on 5.
Well, see, I don't play to play multiplayer. I play to play Warzone. That's the one I enjoy the most of. You go through there and go through the rounds of just killing the elites and the Covenant.
Yeah, the PvE.
Yeah.
Warzone. Yeah, the fire team, or what was it? Firefight Warzone?
Firefight Warzone.
I wish they'd bring back just regular firefight. Remember the blast we had with the ODST firefight?
Yeah, and it's coming to Master Chief Collection.
Yep.
The thing I guess I didn't like about Firefight was, well, didn't they have never-ending rounds? It wasn't ODST, it was Reach that had that. They had
Reach. Yeah,
that you just keep going as long as you could, and like, and here I was bashing the achievements, but you had achievements for making it to certain points. Well, they had the wave stuff in ODST too, as well. So, yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, the games haven't been as good, but
looks like he's still the franchise development director at 343 Industries.
Huh. Okay, then. I stand corrected.
I don't think he's the big boss.
No, Microsoft's the big boss. And I think that's part of it, too, because they've got this huge world that's been developed, too, and you can take from, you know, the literature and the comic books and everything, you can take from it, but you don't recreate it. Does that make sense?
Well, the Halo Infinite's going to be on the Zeta Halo, which was featured pretty prominently in Greg Bear's Forerunner trilogy, which was fantastic.
Look at you.
Yeah. Look at me.
Who would have thunk it?
Not me.
You understand we've done that, like, ever since that's come out, we've done it just about every podcast, right?
Yeah. I wish we'd do it even more often, like twice or 3 times. But anyway.
Well, look at us.
But no, that series came out before the release of Halo 4, and I love those books.
It kind of set the precedence for what to expect.
Introduced you to the didact,
right? And that's one of the things that the Finish the Fight guys were just kind of coming down on Halo 4 about, was you've established all this in the books.
That was amazing.
That was really great, and then you don't establish it as well in 4. It's like
Yeah,
they changed the story. What you knew from the literature changed in the game. And
Yeah.
that they felt like that kind of hurt it.
It
But
did.
but here's the thing. When you say Halo, people don't think of the literature. There are tons of people out there that do the audiobooks and read the books and do all that, but they don't. There's not that majority of people aren't buying the books and then playing the game. You have more people that just know Halo from the game aspect.
Right. But the books
I'm
provide
one
a
of
great,
those. I'm one of
like,
those.
behind the scenes.
Oh yes, I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying I'm one of those people that are game oriented, I guess, when it comes to the Halo universe, and it's not exactly seamless, the transition from 3 to 4, obviously, but for the most part, if you just go just the games, it is. You're floating in space, all of a sudden you're here. You are. I mean, it's hard to mess that up.
Yeah, and there are some things they could have done differently in 4. They could have given. I mean, the Forerunner books gave a great, like, motive for the Didact doing what he did in 4, and they just completely abandoned that motive to make him just standard mustache twirling villain.
Right.
It felt to me. It's like he's just doing this to be mean instead of, like, he could
Having
be
a
doing that
reason.
to try to bring back to save his race.
Right.
And if there's one thing I do want the Finish the Fight guys to hear, because I want to get their opinion on this. The first
We'll probably have
crack,
to tweet them. I don't know if they listen to our little small
just
podcast.
this one thing. The first crack I saw in the 343 armor.
I'm going to tweet
first,
as you say this.
The first time I wondered if something was up. The first 2 books of that trilogy, Cryptum and either Silentium or Primordium. I get them mixed up. But the first 2, for the cover, they used some concept art for Halo 4. For the 3rd book, they came out with this. They were going to use another piece of concept art that looked incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, they went for this really lazy, terrible-looking picture of the Didact and the Librarian. And they gave the whole reason of trying to relate it to the game or whatever. That was the first misstep to me, and a long list of missteps from 343.
So what's your question?
Well, I wonder if they if they thought of it the same way, because, like, the concept art they used for the covers, it was like green and then red, and the third one's gonna be blue, and they just completely threw that away. And it just, when you're looking at all 3 together, they just don't flow.
Right.
Like the first 2 and then the third, it's like, what? Why are these horrible looking aliens on the cover? Why does it not look like the first 2 books? And that was a terrible decision in my book, or in my opinion. So I wonder if they noticed that too, or if that's just me.
Well, I'm going to ask them. I got to figure exactly how to word that, because it's not really a question; it's more of an observation. But
yeah, but
I'm going to tweet them, and if they happen to listen to the show, thanks, guys.
But yeah, and they just kind of abandoned that whole plot from 4 to give us Cortana as Space Hitler in 5.
Yeah.
And then it seems that they've abandoned that, which, I have seen someone make one point that I won't say redeemed 5, but kind of helped a little bit, is they pointed out that that's not actually Cortana in 5.
Okay.
That's just like part of her.
Right.
So that's not the full package of Cortana.
So do you think they completely abandon that story? Like Cortana won't be an Infinite at all?
I don't know. They
because that's been the driving force for 2 games now for Chief.
Yeah, and it just seems like they've completely shifted gears, and now we're getting stuck. We're getting plopped into a story that's like 160 days after we lost a war.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, what? And so there again, it's like, well, you got to play Halo Wars 2 to understand what's going on. It's like,
well,
but maybe they'll do a better job of explaining it. It's coming. It's going to be on Game Pass. I'll get it, and I'll play it with you.
Well, I told you earlier, the Series X, I'm getting definitely just because of the backwards compatibility with all previous game systems. I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm going to get rid of my 360 or my Xbox One as I sit here and point to them, and nobody can see me do that. But that does mean that it will at least free up, and I can, instead of having to switch my inputs every time I want to play a different game, I can put them all on one input. And that's what it means to me.
Right.
And that's what I'm really looking forward to. And again, I'm not saying that.
Although I will say this, you probably need to get a bigger TV, get a 4K TV.
I will eventually get a bigger TV. I don't know if it'll be 4K. Here's the plan. At some point, we are going to remodel our living room. And whenever we do that, I'm going to get the TV in there come back here, that 55.
That might be too big, but all right.
No, we'll make it work.
It's only a 55?
Yeah, that one in there is only a 55.
I thought that was bigger than that. Okay. The one I've got is a 50.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway, that one's a 55, but we're going to get a bigger one for in there, probably like a 75 or something. It's 20 more inches. That's huge.
Yeah. That's what Casey's got.
Is it? Like, I want like the big one, but I can't justify the price.
You want Master Chief to be full size.
Exactly. But I can't justify the price difference between
like getting
75 and 81 or whatever.
Getting facing the screen, stand beside him like you're taking a picture.
And it may be 72. I think I think there's a huge price jump from 72 to 75.
Oh yeah.
So, but anyway, that's the plan. But I can't do any of that until we rearrange the living room.
Okay.
But anyway, that is what it is. It's been a fun episode.
It has. We kind of went on that Halo rant, but
we went on a tangent of high school, which we need to do more of those. We have so many stories.
We pig trailed it, man.
We did pig trail it. I like it. I like it a lot.
We grunt trailed it.
Yeah. Okay, so that'll do it for this episode, and hopefully it won't be a month and a half before we get back with you guys. So we appreciate you, and
stay safe.
Yeah, exactly. Stay safe and be safe. And
buy war bonds. Oh wait, this isn't the 40s.
This isn't the 40s. But I don't know exactly how to end this.
Just turn it off.
Just turn it off. Okay. See you guys.
The minute.